originally we were looking at what it means to be a rebel, based on a Camus quote, actually.
Which one?
To be a rebel is, loosely speaking, connected to your passion and desire for life. So if you've got something to fight for, it's something that's affirming and not something that's negative. So sometimes a rebel is constructed in a negative way, but actually he's kind of trying to spin that on its head and say that it's a positive thing because you're fighting to defend something. Which then led us into a couple of months of debating what's the difference between rebellion and resistance. And funnily enough, when I was reading the shock doctrine, was in this phase of me kind of changing the title of this project from rebel to resist. And part of the shock doctrine, I actually looked at it yesterday to see like what I'd scribbled, and there was like many times along it where it pushed me from calling this project rebel to calling it resist. But I just wondered in your headspace what you saw as the difference between those two things, or even if there is one.
Well, I think they are often very compatible. But this, I think for the particular era that we're in, resistance is the primary means of rebellion. It is those moments. It's the drawing of the line and here and no further, right? And that's the Abasta moment, right? But it's so interesting. I one time made a list of all of the resistance movements around the world that have, on their own, chosen some variation of the idea of enough. There's, I think, an Egyptian political party that has that name, and
it's the Israeli refuseniks, which is there is a limit.
Yeah, and it's that same spirit of here and no further. You do not cross the line, and that that's the beginning of resistance when you draw that line, and then you've got to defend the line, and then I think you hit up against the limits of resistance, where it isn't only enough to resist the incursion. You have to somehow change the equation because you can't exist in a constant state of resistance. And I think in some communities, particularly in some communities, there's something very clear, a way of life that is precious and is being protected. So it's simultaneously a living of the alternative and a resistance of the incursion. But in most places, we are resisting, but we actually don't have the alternative that we are protecting. So we need to resist and create the alternative simultaneously.